RealTime Fantasy Sports. Welcome to the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. On today's show, I'm going to give you 5 possible waiver wire ads for Week 12 of the fantasy football season. Hopefully you had a big Week 11 and won all of your fantasy football games, and you had Jonathan Taylor or Austin Eckler or both on your teams. Those guys had just monster games in Week 11. Hopefully you came out on top and took advantage of some of those big performances in Week 11. But here's 5 waiver wire ads for Week 12. My first one is Bills running back Matt Breida. Breida is getting some chances the last few weeks. He ran 5 times for 51 yards last week, caught a pass for 16 yards. He has 6 touches each of his last 2 games. Both Zach Moss, Devin Singletary not doing a whole lot in this running game for Buffalo, and Buffalo really needs to get the running game going. I think it's impacting the entire offense, having a lack of a running game. Teams are just gearing up to stop the pass, and it's not going well for that offense right now. I think Breida might be a good speculative ad for fantasy teams. He's not guaranteed anything going forward, but there's not a lot on the waiver wire this week. So if you're looking for some running back help, I think Breida's a good speculative ad for Week 12. My next waiver wire ad is Panthers quarterback Cam Newton. He made this list last week. He started his first game of the season, scored 28.1 fantasy points, had 3 total touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 running, and he has 5 touchdowns in just 2 games with Carolina. He's looked pretty good in that offense. We know what he's capable of in this offense, mainly because of his ability to run the ball, especially around the goal line. I think he could be a good spot play the rest of the way for fantasy teams. He's still available in 46% of leagues on our site. My next waiver wire ad is Saints receiver Trequan Smith. Smith had a season high in receptions and yards last week, caught 5 passes for 64 yards. He has scores 2 of 4 games, also double-digit fantasy points, 3 of 4. He's become a consistent fantasy producer in this offense. He's available in 85% of leagues. I think this isn't a fluke. He's going to be a player in this offense the rest of the way. My next waiver wire ad's another Saints player. It's Trevor Siemian, the quarterback who's played pretty well for them, and he's produced well for his fantasy teams as well for those who have been using him. He has multiple touchdowns, 3 straight games, 20-plus fantasy points all 3 of those games, had his first 3-touchdown game of the season last week. I think he can help fantasy teams the rest of the way as a spot starter. He's getting it done in this offense, an offense that's been throwing the ball a little more. I think they have a little more faith in Siemian when he's throwing the ball, so I think he's a good streaming play the rest of the way. My last waiver wire ad for Week 12 is another Saints player. My third Saints player makes the list. It's a tight end this time, and it's Adam Trautman. Trautman scored his first touchdown of the season last week. He had 5 receptions in that game, giving him 5 receptions each of his last 2 games. He has at least 4 catches, 3 straight. He's not just a touchdown-dependent player in this offense. He's getting weekly catches, and the tight end position is not very good, as you all know, and he's available in 92% of leagues on our site. So I think Trautman's a good play for anybody looking for a tight end because that position just has been very up and down this year, and he's been a productive, consistent player the last several weeks. All right, those are my 5 waiver wire ads for Week 12 of the fantasy football season. Good luck this week, and have a great Thanksgiving. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Have a great day.